quantify Draymond.
Please. Jamal Murray thought Max Strus played great defense in the NBA Finals, too. Oh, man, let's get the Rob Stats Guerrera.
If you came in and you were like, we've got action, then I'd start to believe that you were like Steinmetz.
Yeah, he says we got action over anything. Like,
although I would love for you to come in after like a big-time victory for the 49ers and be like, I mean, what are we going to talk about?
Nah, that's not right. Steiny never
funny.
does that. Steiny always has.
I love him.
Rob Stats Guerrera, let's bring him on here, man. Just ripping on our co-hosts here at 95.7 The Game. Speaking of which, the Gold Standard Podcast Network, Sundays, 8 a.m. So officially, I mean, I guess for what, over the last 6-7 weeks, Rob's kind of been a teammate of ours, so we can't really rip him like we want to. We'll leave that alone. Rob, good morning.
I was going to wonder, like, am I next on the block here?
Yeah, you're going to get ripped at some point. We'll
Don't say anything negative about Klay Thompson.
Listen, no. Well, some people, Rob, I didn't know this, but these new age fans that just started watching sports 2 years ago, they scoff at 41% shooting from the three-point line. I've never seen anything like it. So much so that I got an email from Bob Fitzgerald, the voice of the Golden State Warriors, about Klay Thompson, saying, Bonte, keep fighting a good fight. Don't let these idiots tell you that Klay Thompson's washed. That's why I roll with Bob Fitzgerald. That's why I roll with you, Rob Stats Guerrera, because you keep it real. You don't sugarcoat anything. And if I'm not talking mess about you, Rob, that means I don't like you because I talk mess about all my people I like. So that's a good thing. Anyway, Shasky can't handle it sometimes.
Why do you think I'm here?
He's nervous. No, well, we got on Sausalito Shasky yesterday because he's so nervous about the Lions. Are you nervous about the Lions this Sunday, Rob? Let me guess. You are.
Yes, I am. But only if the 49ers don't play their best game. And that's my big thing going into this week. How many weeks has it been, guys, since this team has played their best? I think it's basically been the Eagles game. And I put that at the feet of Kyle Shanahan, man. You got to be at your best when your best is required. And I'm tired of, we'll get it right next week. We got some things to clean up. Fred Warner said it this week. The time for that is over. Now it's time to dominate and to be the team that we saw earlier this year.
So what do you want to see game plan-wise from the offense?
I want to see Christian McCaffrey touch the ball once every 4 plays. There should never be a 4-down sequence where Christian McCaffrey doesn't touch the ball at least once. We're past the point of we're overusing him. Now is the time to use him. Squeeze all the juice from that orange. I want to see McCaffrey touch the ball, and then I want to see deep passes down the field. I want to see Brock look like Brock again because he admitted he got a little shook after that almost interception to Darnell Savage. Yeah. Forget that, man. Go into attack mode.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Don't forget to listen to Rob this Sunday. He's doing an excellent job. The Gold Standard Network this Sunday, 8 a.m. on 95.7 The Game. Stats on Fire on Twitter. Rob, you're doing such a great job on Sundays. I'm tapped in every single Sunday at 8 a.m. because I get up so damn early, but you guys are on point. Now, when it comes to this defense of the Detroit Lions, when you mentioned deep passes and getting Christian McCaffrey involved, what about force-feeding Brandon Ayuk outside the numbers? That was one issue I had with Purdy and Shanahan last week. They failed to attack outside the numbers until the final drive of the game.
I agree, and I think there's going to be opportunities in this game. In fact, I think outside the numbers, deeper down the field is going to be big for both sides. The Lions' corners are vulnerable there. They absolutely are. They take some chances, and there's going to be opportunities down the field. We've seen Brock be willing to take those chances. We've seen the back shoulder throws to Deebo Samuel deeper down the field or in the corner of the end zone. So Brock can do it, and I think he's going to have chances to do it. And I actually think that's where Detroit is going to try to attack the 49ers as well, is deeper down the field, outside the numbers, away from 54 and away from 57.
So what is your biggest mismatch heading into this game for either side?
I think the biggest mismatch is the 49ers receivers against the Lions linebackers. I think they can't cover anybody. They can't play dead in a cowboy movie. And Kyle loves to attack linebackers, and I think he will in this game. I think you're going to see a lot of Deebo over the middle. I think you're going to see Kittle over the middle. And you're going to put some guys in some blenders. To me, that's the biggest opportunity that they have in this game to really hurt Detroit.
Now, on the flip side here, we've been hyper-focused on the front four. And the front four last week, Rob, just did not – I thought they were okay in the second half. Watching the game back a little bit in the second half, They got a little more pressure on Jordan Love, but not the pressure we expect from a defensive line so damn expensive when you think about money and draft picks and where they were drafted or whatnot. To me, it comes down to Bosa, Chase Young, Armstead, Kinlaw, Javon Hargrave are getting pressure on Jared Goff because, look, the Lions will have some success running the football. That's what they do. But can you heat up Jared Goff on those play-action passes? Can you heat him up on first down? That's an easy game for me. It's either going to be a shootout, and it's going to be back and forth. Nobody's going to get stops, or this front four for the 49ers is going to stand up and play like they're paid to do.
And they absolutely should be able to. Don't forget, Detroit's offensive line is good, but it's not 100%. Frank Ragnow, their center, has got an injured knee and ankle on the same leg, and even when he was healthy, he's allowed his highest pressure rate in his entire career this season. And also, the Lions' starting left guard is going to be out, and their replacement, whose name I can't even remember, gave up, I think, 8 pressures in 25 snaps last week. So he has struggled. Javon Hargrave, time to eat, man. This is you. Line up over that left guard every time and go to work. And we've seen when you get pressure on Jared Goff, he folds like a damn lawn chair. So it is time, man. Let's see it.
Do you trust Brock more than Jared Goff in this game?
If there's pressure, yes, I do. And the world keeps talking about Darnell Savage's dropped interception, and that's fair, but Jared Goff threw an interception in the end zone that Tampa Bay dropped. Like, that's a thing that happened that's real. So Brock Purdy's not the only one that was a little bit shaky. Both teams needed an interception on the final drive of the game to seal the game last week. So I do trust Brock more than I trust Goff, because if there's pressure, I think Brock can handle it, and I know Jared Goff can't.
Interesting there. Interesting. All right, the DBs, if they don't get pressure, obviously, I don't know what you could do about Ambry Thomas. What are you going to do, throw Isaiah Oliver out there? That's even worse with the speed that Detroit had. So you just got to pray, smoke a cigarette, maybe take a shot of Hennessy, and hope that Ambry can make a play here and there, right? I mean, it is. There's only so much you can do to protect him. At some point, he's going to be on the island with one of these guys. You just pray that he makes a play.
Yeah, you can't really hide people on the field, especially defensive backs. These games are on television. They're on film. They see the weaknesses. Ambry, if you listen to what he says, he basically said, look, I haven't been out on the field as much. I haven't gotten a lot of reps. Now I've got a week under my belt. He's talking like he's going to be better, like closer to the Ambry Thomas we saw in the middle of the season. And that's really what we need. We don't need the Ambry Thomas stumbling like a drunken sailor 41 yards down the field committing pass interference penalties. I don't need to see that number 20 on the field. Give me the good Ambry Thomas.
Yeah, I just, man. The secondary, Logan Ryan, that back there, I don't trust him. I know that John Lynch seems to be way more, respectful of his play than I am. I see Oren Burks out there for too often. I know Bonte's like, he only played 10 snaps. It's like 9.5 too many for Joseph Day.
Everybody was excited about him when he signed, though. What happened? Everybody was excited about that.
Some guy you're just going to pick up off the
everybody was like, oh, my God, we got this Charger. It's really good. Everybody was excited about that move.
Most guys, outside of Eric Weddle in the NFC Championship game going back in there for the Rams, I can't think of a guy signed 2 weeks before the playoffs started who's some impact player and
Charles Haley. Charles
Haley's one of the greatest players of all time.
Kevin Green, I mean,
That was over 30 years ago, Bonte.
I'm bringing up examples. That's all. Go ahead, Rob.
My point that I'm getting at, I'm surprised that this defensive personnel is now coming down to Oren Burks, Logan Ryans, Ambry Thomas. Like, it's kind of surprising. A strength of the team, the defense, isn't as strong as maybe I thought throughout the year.
Well, because it's constructed to get pressure with their front four. That's how this whole thing is designed, and they really haven't been able to do that. I know Shanahan got all salty yesterday in the press conference, Emperor Kyle, when he was questioned about it. But the reality is the reality. Pressures are great, but they're not sacks. Football at the most basic level is a battle for field position. It's a battle over territory, and sacks gain territory for the defense. Pressures don't, so they do matter more. I need to see it from Bosa, who hasn't been as good in the playoffs lately as he was when he started his career.
Yeah.
I need to see it from Chase Young. Chase, what the hell are you doing out there, man? You've had like 1 sack since we got you. Let's go. Now is the time, because if they do get pressure with the front four, Detroit's not going to be able to move the ball at all. That will grind things to a halt.
Yep, I'm with you there. I'm with you. You mentioned Shanahan being salty. I had a different perspective on him over the last 2 days. I feel like he's been a lot looser at a podium.
Yeah.
Why do you believe he's been salty? Just because of that one question?
No, the other question where I felt like he got salty was when we were asking him what the hell he was doing at the end of the first half.
Right.
And he's talking about, well, we got 20 years of data, and we dialed this play up for Brandon Ayuk. It's like, dude, you let 40 seconds run off the clock, and you traded 2 timeouts for 8 yards at the end of that sequence. Like, it all came down to that 1 second down call to Brandon Ayuk for Kyle Shanahan. Too often I feel like Kyle coaches to avoid the worst-case scenario instead of trying to achieve the best-case scenario. And with Dan Campbell, you know he's going for it. He is going all in for the best-case scenario, and he's going to take his chances. If the game is close, I worry that could become a factor.
Yeah, I do worry about Shanahan getting tight moments, clock management. I go back to Super Bowl 54, first time it really blew me away. Like Super Bowl with Atlanta, 28-3. People need to go back and watch the game. That's not on Kyle Shanahan. I've chronicled the game log. I've watched that game back over and over and over again. That's not on Kyle. That's on Dan Quinn. Hold a 25-point lead. You're the head coach and the defensive coordinator. If you want the guy to run the ball, tell Kyle Shanahan, run the ball. So I don't know why Shanahan gets so much grief for that, but clock management with the 49ers has been an issue. How does this go down, man? How does it go down? Are we going into Las Vegas, Rob? Will we have drinks in Las Vegas? Or will we be talking about a wild offseason for the 49ers, which could be quarterbacks, all kind of teams happening? What's going to happen on Sunday?
What's going to happen is I'll have an old-fashioned with no ice and a tall glass. That's what's going to happen. I think the 49ers are going to get it done. As much hemming and hawing as we do over this defense,
Right.
I will say this. We have not seen the best version of the 49ers in a long time, and they have still won. They don't need to play their best to win this game. If they play their best, they will definitely win it. But even if they don't, they will still win it. I think Detroit has to be at their best, and I don't think they're going to be.
I love it. Rob Stats on Fire, Rob Guerrera, Gold Standard Podcast Network. Rob, good stuff as always, brother. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Rob.
Anytime, Rob.
Now, I don't want to put this into the ethos,